Hey everyone, in this tutorial I will try to model that concept object, and a lot of people ask me about how to get these kind of sharp edges on cylindrical objects, and this tutorial could be an answer to that question. So let's start. So I will start with a cylinder and I will turn off caps and set my head segments to 1. I will not need them and I will just make it editable. Press C. Then I will go to top view and select these 2 points. Then I will bend these 2 points between them like that. Then I will deselect the top points and I will move these points. Something like that is enough. Now I want to show you something. Let's add a subdivision surface to that. And to make these corners sharper, I will need to add some edge loops, edge cuts like that. But if I do that, I will not get a smooth surface because these two angles are too close. And even if I do something like that, it's not gonna be enough. We will always get this kind of pinching. So let's also melt these edges so we will get quads. And even if I add a loop cut here, it's gonna get worse. So the only solution is to have more segments. So let's try to do that. I will select all of my polygons, right click and open my subdivide options and subdivide with regular subdivisions. Don't check on these options. Also, let's get rid of that edge. But now we need to fix another thing. If you look at from the top, these points should be like that to get a curved surface. If I put that into a subdivision surface, I will get that. To fix that, I will create another cylinder. And I will make the segments very high, like 100. So it's perfectly smooth. Then I will turn off the visibility of that. Then I will press Shift and press Select Shrink Wrap. And in the Target Object tab, I will put my new cylinder with the high segments. So I will turn it on and off so you can see the effects. First of all, I should make my cylinder bigger so the shrink wrap would work. So it's perfectly smooth now. I will select my object, right click and say current state object. Now I will select all my polygons, right click and extrude and turn on the create caps option. But I will extrude something like that, very low, very little. Then I will select my normal scale tool and scale these polygons. Then I will move them. So this gives a better result than the normal extrude. But now I need to move these edges. Let's move them. As you can see, we have a same pattern that repeats itself. So I could use symmetry or cloner object. In this case, symmetry is not an option because if I select here, and if you look at from the top view, it's not much in the center. I can try to rotate it, but it's not gonna be a perfect rotate. So I will use a cloner object. First, select these edge loops, double click on them, then go to selection and select fill selection and click here. Then I will invert selection and I will delete. Now I can use that in the cloner. But before cloning it, I will select these edges and I will start at my edge cuts. I will only select these edges. Then I will right click, select bevel and change your bevel mode to solid. Also change the offset mode to fixed distance and bevel. This is gonna create triangles, but we can fix that. Just select these edges in the middle, right click and melt. And also I will move some of the points. Okay, let's enable subdivision surface. Okay, the bottom part looks good, but here also should be sharper. To do that, I will just stall these edges, select them, right click and slide. Actually, let's enable subdivision surface to see that better. If I move that to that, move these edges to here, this part is gonna get sharper, but I need to change my offset mode to proportional. Something like that. Let's do the same thing here. Okay, I will also add another loop cut here, so I can relax here a little bit, like something like that, not much. Now I will add that object into the cloner. Select that object, press Alt and select cloner. And I will change my mode to radial. And I believe I will need 4 counts. And I will set my radius to 0. And I will also change my color. It's too bright. Something like that. Let's enable subdivision surface. Now we get these lines, shading lines. The reason is that cloner didn't merge the points. To do that, I will use connect object, press the cloner, select the cloner, and select the connect object. This is gonna do the work for us. Also, I will add loop cuts to loop cuts to here. And I will also move these points. Now let's work on the top part, but before that I will delete these inner polygons because we won't see them. And enable cloner and connect. Now I will make my connect object editable, press C. Now I will select that edge loop, double click on it, but make sure that you're on the edge mode, double click, then right click, select slide and press Ctrl, then move these edges. Do that one more time. Now I will make a loop selection, then select extrude and make something like that. And I will also flip my normals, and also let's add these edge cuts, edge loop cuts, and let's enable subdivision surface to see the result. Okay, let's add another one here. Okay, pretty good. Now I will select, make a loop selection, and I will move these polygons, then I will scale them. Something like that. And also I will scale this edge loop. Okay, let's add another loop cut to hold these edges, like here, here, and here, also the inner parts. Let's press Q. So it looks like I need to weld these points, these duplicated points. To do that, let's select all and right click and optimize. This should work. Yeah. Okay, now I will make another loop selection. Then I will split that part. And I will select these edges. Then right click and extrude. But before doing that, I will save my selection. Save selection, set selection. Then I will double click, then scale them. Also, let's scale these two. Then I will select my edge selection, double click. Then I will make my extrude. Now I will select all of them. Maybe I can move them a little. Then I will select extrude and turn on the caps. Something like that. Also, let's make these two objects into one group. Press Alt and G. And if I enable my subdivision surface, I will get very smooth object. So I need to add some edge cuts, but there is a shortcut for that, so I don't have to do that for each of them. I will select all of my edges, press Ctrl A, but I don't want these inner edges. So to deselect them, I will go to ring selection, press Ctrl and deselect them. Then I will right click, select bevel, and make sure that your bevel mode is on solid, then bevel. Something like that will be enough, but this created these triangles. And also there is another shortcut to remove these edges instead of removing them one by one. To do that, I will change my mode to modeling and go to mesh checking and enable check, and I will disable all of them, only the complex poles. So it automatically selected these triangles edges, actual points. Let's select. Then I will convert them to edges. To do that, I will be pressing Ctrl, then select the edge mode. Let's turn off enable check mesh. I will select loop selection, press Ctrl and deselect that loop. Also these ones. Then I will simply dissolve them. Okay, let's enable subdivision surface to see the result. Okay, pretty good and enough. Also, let's turn on that. I will scale these inner polygons. Let's select them. Something like that. Then I will switch to front view. And I will go to mesh and select polygon pen. And I will try to draw my shapes. Okay, now I will make my points straight. I will select them and I will scale them to 0. Okay, now I need to connect these points. So I will right click and select line cut. And I will connect these points. Something like that. Then I need to extrude. So select all and right click, select extrude and turn on the caps. something like that. Then I will switch to model mode, and I need to change its center axis. To do that, I will go to mesh, axis center, and execute. Now the axis is in the center of the object, and I can move it to the 0 on the z-axis. Now I will select that object and select that polygon, right click, split, and I will move it somewhere here and make it a little bit thicker. Then right click and extrude. Actually, let's delete these polygons. And I will select loop cut. I will add loop cuts here. Then I will move them. So this is gonna be easier. Okay, let's select all, extrude. And I want that part to be wider, so I will scale them on the z-axis. And I will make a loop cut here and here. Then I will extrude these polygons, press Ctrl and move. Then I can move to top view and move these points closer to that top object. Okay, let's go back to our original mesh. I will select these polygons, split. I will move that. And I will also scale them. Then I will right click and extrude. And also let's extrude one more time, but this time I will press Ctrl and move. Then I will make my top polygons flat. I will scale them to 0. Something like that. Okay, that's enough, I think. Now I will be adding edge loops to hold these edges. If I put them into that group and enable my axis, they will be very smooth. So I will add my edge cuts now. Now I will switch to right view and create a disk and set the segments to 8. Then I will make it editable, select the outer edges and extrude. And I will select these points and scale them to 0 to get a flat edge. Then I will scale them on the z-axis, y-axis. And I will select them one more time and press Ctrl. Now I won't need these middle parts, so I will delete that point. Then I will select all and extrude. Something like that. And I will also add loop cuts. Okay, now I will scale it and put it somewhere here. Okay, it is too small, so I will make it bigger. And also I will move this. It's too big. Okay, something like that. Now I will try to make the ring. To do that, I will select helix and I will decrease the height, something like that, and make it fit here, and I will also rotate it. To change the axis of the helix, I will press Alt and G. This is gonna make a new group, so now I can change my axis. Something like that. Okay, now I will add a circle, make it smaller, and I will need a sweep object, and I will put these objects into the sweep. But the helix won't work because of that group. So I will press Alt and let's try with the connect object. Yes. Let's scale the circle. I will increase my height of the helix. And I will also change my end angle to give this ring to a randomness. Then I will rotate my helix group. Okay, something like that. So I will put that disk into the subdivision group. Now I will work on the bottom part. I will select my base object. Then I will duplicate it, press Ctrl and move. And I will make a loop cut right in the middle. Then I will select them and scale them to 0. And I will also delete these points. Then I will go to my object's coordinates and set my Y size to -1. So it's gonna be something like upside down. Then I will rotate it 45 degrees. Also, let's recenter the axis. Okay, now I will move these edges, then press Ctrl and move them, then scale. Now I will press Ctrl and scale. Then I will do that one more time, but this time I will right click and select collapse. Then I will add loop cuts to hold these edges. Okay, let's press Q. I think this part shouldn't be that sharp. They don't match with here. So to do that, I will slide these edges. Yeah, I think that's a lot better. Okay, now let's add another cylinder. This is for the inner part. Also, I can turn off caps. But I want to move these points. This thing is too tall. Something like that. Also, I will move my cylinder. Let's turn on screen space ambient occlusion. And it looks like I need to close that gap, but I will just scale them. And if you want, you can add another details. So that was it, guys. I hope you liked the video, learned something new, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye.